What up, guys? Welcome to another video. Today's exciting. We are installing the new NRG seats we got from NRG and the seat brackets, mounting plate, and slider from Planted. So shout out to both of them. I'll leave the links in the description to their products. But just so you guys know, you need brackets to mount any sort of racing seat to a car. So that's why we have this package. You can't just throw the seat in the car. Let's open this Planted package real quick. Here is our Sparco slider rail. This is for the driver only because I probably won't be the only person driving this car on a regular basis. So I wanted to make it accessible. Most people would just buy these from Planted and then your seat is stuck in one position. But if I want some of my friends to drive, I want them to be able to drive it, so I have that rail. But this is what mounts to the bottom of the seat and then into the car. These are car specific. These are universal. Sometimes you gotta be worried about the bolster hitting the side of the car or like anything like that to make sure it fits perfectly, but we're good. These are for the car, and also the manual and auto passenger seat is different for the 350. So when you order these, make sure you order it accordingly if you're gonna do custom seats. And one thing I didn't mention earlier is that this is like a hardback. It's not a first things first, prop the door open with the seat, of course, because we don't want to hit our ankles. And then I'm gonna slide the seat all the way forward in the front so I can get to the bolts in the back. One of these bolts is stripped on this car. What's new? It's bunk. So we gotta figure that out. This seat isn't perfectly mounted, but we'll get it dialed. So let's find out what size it is. And normally there'd be a bolt on this side, but there's not. But on the inside, take it out real quick. Throw it in the seat, put the seat all the way back, slide it all the way back, move this a little forward, slide it all the way back. There's plastic covers you'll see on top of the bolts hiding them. You just pop those off. Okay, before you just rip the seat out, important, there's cables connected to the bottom of your seat for airbag reasons and if you have the power seats. So be careful, don't just rip it out, but mine are already disconnected. Good flush. Wow, look how low that is. That is very low. That's actually crazy.
All greased up. So now this thing's...
Remember that these shorter tabs are the fronts. So Trevor's strapping on the slider. Bolt on top, and then the washer and nuts are on the other side on the bottom. Two bolts on, and the only way to mount the back, it's Trevor's going to show you. Slide it forward. And now we have the back holes exposed and we can line them up. All the way forward, so these are exposed, so we can put nuts underneath really easily.
Why you gotta be aggressive, Trevor? Trevor, you're a freaking genius.
Trevor's genius. We're unbolting the seat.
So
the
smart,
seat
dude.
bracket. Duh. What are you munching on? This was on the side of the seat. Now we're gonna pull off the other one. And then we can just skip this one pain in the butt and slap it right on. Oh, would you look at that?
That's all I want to go.
Under the seat, where the seat mounts to the rail, these bolts are still kind of loose, so we were able to get the width. Now we screwed the 4 bolts back into the seat, and we're going to try and tighten these now. So we slid it all the way back on the rail so Trevor can get his ratchet underneath. Tighten that, and then after that we'll slide it all the way forward, and then it'll be hanging over here, and then I can get to that nut. Thank you, Trevor. Final product all buttoned up. We figured out that the issue we ran into off camera was that the 2 rails basically were like bolted down like this, and when we loosened them a little bit after we got the seat on, the pressure just went clunk to one side, and then the rail started working smoothly. Before we try and move the seat, it would like get stuck. So just know, make sure the pressure is even when you do have the rail system, if that makes sense. Stop where you're at before you get trigger happy like we did. We didn't pay attention to something very, very important. That is the seat belt, and the brackets actually have a spot on them. Let me show you. Speeding up in time, this is the passenger one. You'll see it on the driver one as well. This guy right here is for the seat belt, which is right here. It's a 14mm bolt you pull out, and then there's a wire for your seat belt sign, which you got to undo this screw and then follow the wire and clip the zip ties, and then we'll plug this back in. So don't forget that. I'm not going to show it because it's so obvious how to do it. Don't forget it. And then I got to find a nut and bolt now to hold it on to right here. Shout out NRG, baby. Sick wheel and quick release. Thank you guys.
Race car or what?
Dude, it is so comfy now, and it matches. Okay, I feel like it's kind of turned this way.
Gotcha.
Which we could probably fix later. But with this support right here, your foot is just like way more aggressive on the clutch. You got to hop in here. See if the door closes.
It's comfy. It rubs.
Uh-oh.
Chris Fix made a great video on choosing the right seats for your car to make sure they fit.
We can move the seat to the right, yeah?
You move to the right. The only thing is you have, I guess it's better to rub over here than over there, but you have a centimeter over here. You have that.
Uh-huh.
Yank, 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 yank.
14mm bolts to pull out the passenger seat over there. And then this is the next bracket. And we're gonna mount it like that. Everything's good, but we have no bolts left because we used all 8, because normally it would take 4, but since we did the slider, it used 4 more, so 8 total on one seat. So I'm gonna run to Harbor Freight. I'm gonna actually take the plate with me and find bolts that line up with that hole, and it'll be easy. Got some nuts, bolts, and washers. Got the passenger bracket on. Everything's loose. Gonna put this last one on, and then we'll be ready to put it in the car. The center holes. You can see the 2 is center. So I push the bracket all the way this way because we want the seat to be as in the car as possible, because we do have that spot that hits the door right here. So we're gonna see. I'm gonna snug this up, not super tight, put it in the car and see if it's gonna fit right, because like the driver's side, it does, you kind of have to slam the door to get it to close right. Well, ran into more issues. This is a bummer. So this seat, if you look up here, is almost hitting the roof. Someone would literally be hitting their head on the roof if they sat in this, because it's so high. This bracket is so high with this seat. So I'm not really sure, because that doesn't even have a slider, and that one fit good on the driver's side with a slider, and that makes it even higher. So why wouldn't this one work? I'm not sure. Like this one's on the low, this one's on the top. It could drop it down quite a bit, but then we're so tight on the interior right here, I'd have to remove all that, which would suck at this stage of the car because it's not full race car. So I'm gonna think about it, figure out what to do. It's the next day. Ran into a couple issues. So if you visualize this with me. This is where we forgot to put the seatbelt clips in. So this is the driver's side, the seatbelt comes over, clips in right here. But the driver's side right here, if you think on the seat, sits smashed up against the center console. This is the bracket for the passenger side, and this seat sits so close to the center console that I can't fit my seatbelt either. So that's an issue in itself. That's kind of bumming me out. But then also this bracket is so much higher than this one because of the hump that they had to deal with the manual transmission setup, that they really had no option or any other way to design it, so it sits way higher. So then in turn your seat is higher, and it's kind of a bummer that one seat looks a little bit higher. Jeff from Planted did talk over email before, and he did let me know. So it's nothing I shouldn't have been aware of, but I did not realize it was going to be this much higher. Next, I didn't really want to go full race car, so I bought a setup that I thought would fit. But on the driver's side, when you close the door, it does hit the bolstering a little bit, but you can just slam it and it fits fine. It just sits up tight against the door. Not a big deal. But the next issue I had was that when I went to put the seat in on the passenger side, I got everything mounted up. You go to put it in, you put this bolt in, you put that bolt in, you put this bolt in, and the fourth one right here. The hole for the bolt is where my pinky is in the car, and this is where it will go to. So you got to think there's a 1/4 to 1/2 inch gap that this bracket will not flex, whether it's shrunk in powder coat or I don't know, somehow it just doesn't fit. But so what I did to make sure that the design wasn't flawed, I took the seat off, which is why it's off right now. I put the bracket in the car by itself, bolted that down, bolted that down, bolted that down, and then I was able to press on the bar in the middle with all my little arm power, and this hole flexed over, so it did fit. But that runs the issue of the only way to get it to flex enough is to press it on its weak point right here. But when the seat is on it and you put it in the car, you can't press it there hard enough unless I can find a buddy that can sit on it hard enough and then put the bolt hole in. I don't know. I just got super frustrated because I couldn't get the seat belts to work. I want to be able to drive the car with regular seat belts. I don't want to go full race car yet and gut the interior, which if I gutted the entire interior, carpet and all, these would fit no problem. So I don't know. Another issue is also that these brackets will only fit for the center hole, like this guy right here. I can't go to this one because then it doesn't work on this side. So what would happen is the whole seat would move in towards the car and it would fit much better. But you can't even do that. So if you had a gutted interior, this would work fine. But you would still have to do harnesses because these two tabs are so smashed up against the center console, it doesn't work. So I don't really know what to do. I'm stumped. I gotta look up, do some more research, figure out if I need to order a different style of brackets. I saw one company makes a super low bracket for the passenger side, which I might look into ordering. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe I just bought too aggressive of seats that are too wide. These are the large seats, so bigger people can fit. It's pretty comfortable. I wanted anyone to be able to fit in them, so maybe I should have ordered a medium or whatever. I gotta call NRG. I gotta talk to Planted a little more. Figure it out. So if you guys have ever had this issue, please comment below. I appreciate you guys watching. We'll keep you updated on the process of this, and yeah, thanks. See ya.